make this shit up. Diddy's defense attorney says, and I quote, Sean Combs didn't make a single cent off his Mann Act conduct. The fuck? So he's supposed to have a lenient sentence because he didn't profit off of it that we know of? Okay. Defense attorney Jason Driscoll said the judge sentencing Sean Diddy Combs within the established sentencing guideline range, 70 to 87 months, would be exacerbating sentencing disparities as to Mann Act sentences. The charges Combs was convicted of, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, stem from the federal Mann Act, which criminalizes transporting people across state lines for prosecution. Driscoll is knocking a case cited as precedent by the government in which a man convicted on Mann Act charges had profited over $1.4 million from prostituting women and previously been convicted in Cuba for doing the same. In that case, the defendant was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The prosecutors have acknowledged Combs did not profit from the prostitution at issue in this case, Driscoll said. He said, and I quote, Sean Combs did not make a single cent off his Mann Act conduct. That aggravating factor is completely off the table for the case. I'm glad that y'all finally admit that he did the shit. I mean, we knew Captain Baby Earl did it before the conviction came down, but I'm glad y'all are finally now publicly saying that, yeah, he did it. Now, I know many people are not quite familiar with the Mann Act, so let's get into it just real quick so you have some basis of understanding. Now, the Mann Act was enacted in 1910 and was originally known as the White Slave Traffic Act. No, this had nothing to do with white people being slaves. White slave was a term for sex trafficking. Okay, keep that in mind. Don't take this and run with it going, they white folks were slaves too. No, the fuck you what, okay? It criminalizes transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution. Its language, which legal scholars have defined as vague, has led to controversial prosecutions, including against black champion heavyweight boxer Jack Johnson in 1913. It was more recently used in high-profile cases, including against R&B singer R. Kelly and British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, a longtime confidant and convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Now, from that, the defense is arguing for a lenient sentence. You're not going to believe the reasoning on this one. Jason Driscoll for the defense is continuing to refer to other Mann Act convictions, that is, cases where people were convicted of transporting people across state lines for prostitution, to argue for a lenient sentence for Combs. The charges Combs are convicted of, once again, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Driscoll said he reviewed more than 900 Mann Act cases. Bro, why? Anywho, he said Mann Act victims share common themes. Many of them are immigrants, homeless, drug addicts, or mentally ill, or young, or in need of money, or have been coerced, who have found themselves in the entrapment of a narcissist, an abuser. Like, the fuck? And a lot of them, just middle-aged white women. But you shouldn't have had to go through. Anywho, saying 900 to lie in a room full of attorneys. Okay. Profit motive is essential in the cases because many defendants are pimps who make a living off the people they exploit. No, not always. A lot of times it's for the sake of an affair. An affair that's turned quite nefarious, or it's minor, but they're taking across state lines to do very wrong things to them. Most people pimps ain't picking up the prostitutes to okay. Combs wouldn't be considered a pimp because he didn't commit the offenses for any type of personal gain, Driscoll said. The personal gain of an orgasm. I can't think of anything more personally gainful than that. Driscoll said the defense identified 4 cases in which Johns were convicted and sentenced for Mann Act conduct. The average sentence for those defendants is 6.7 months, he said, because they weren't the ones that transported them over. He did the transporting, he did the paying, and he did that giving that, as he was telling them to take that. The defense has argued Combs should not get more than 14 months, essentially time already served. No, he needs all of the time. He is a danger to everybody, no matter what your no bits look like in your undercarriage. He is a danger to everybody. And he keeping all the baby Earl from the actual babies. Think of the ashy babies if you don't want to think of anybody else. Anything to keep this motherfucker behind all the bars. Okay, put him behind metal bars, bars of soap, Klondike bars. Put him behind all of the bars. Don't ever let him out. Okay? Just, mm-mm, mm-mm. Judge Anand Subramaniam, before Driscoll started his presentation, had said he doesn't see a reason to deviate from sentencing guidelines, which call for a prison sentence between just under 6 years to just over 7 years. The prosecution has called for a sentence of more than 11 years. Give him all of the years. Give him, give him all the 11 years you can find. I'm sure there's some more under, in between some couch cushions and everything else. I don't know. The defense is now discussing the help and inspiration they say Combs has given other people. What? What, other creeps? Other abusers? Pedophiles, maybe? The rich and egregious? What? Huh? What? Defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland is starting her presentation now and said she'll focus on the help and inspiration Sean Diddy Combs has given others throughout his life. Shouldn't this have been something you brought up in trial, but you didn't and you couldn't because nobody was willing to come in and say that that's what the... She said she'll also discuss the commitment that Combs made while he was being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center. Everybody says that they're going to be the goodest boy when they get out. Just like they promised whoever they dating that they going to marry him when they get out. Okay. Mr. Combs started his own record label as a black young male back then was almost kind of a jokeable matter, but he had the audacity to do it anyway. But that is not... He started things so that he could have the money and the hunting ground for... Anywho, next set of updates, I'll bring them to y'all. I just told y'all from the vault of you can't make this shit up. Life is far more strange than fiction. I got nothing else.